Well, hello and welcome back to an all-new Sam Explains the World. I'm your host, Samantha Bremekamp, and the sky is blue, the sun is shining, and it's warm enough not to need 50,000 layers, even though it's February. And on this episode, we're going to focus on prepping the garden, starting some seeds indoors, taking all of the dead things that have collected over winter, putting them in raised beds, elevated beds, and a little bit more, a little smorgasbord, if you will, of fun. So sit back, relax. As always, I'm your host, Samantha Bremekamp, and thank you for coming on this ride with me. It is gorgeous out. Although it is the end of February, you can't really tell because the sun is shining and there's so much to be done in the garden. And one of the things, the main things that I do to start prepping the garden, this time of year especially, you're going to trim your crepe myrtles if you have them. It's the season to do that. And I'm taking different things from around the yard that I've cut down and trimmed. You may recall I had huge, beautiful clematis, deep purple that seemed to be ever blooming. And I finally remembered to absolutely hack them down. And then I didn't waste that material. Instead, I am putting it into the raised beds. I'm obviously not going to leave it like that. I'm going to get the big scissors slash pruners and chop it up and then mix it in with the dirt. I did it to both, and I've also been going around and collecting all the pine needles that have fallen and died over the winter to add to it, because pine needles are so good for gardens. So instead of just bagging them and putting it on the curb for them to go to the trash heap or whatever, just put them in your elevated beds, your raised beds, your flower beds, and let nature take its course, because it is the absolute best natural fertilizer you can get without the help of animals. I've also been pruning the rose bushes to get them ready, and I know it seems kind of savage to cut down as much as I have, but you want all of the energy for the new plants to go into new growth. All the old growth, dead, gone, over it. It's really funny to think that in just a few short months, these raised beds are going to be filled with green and flowers, and I am just so excited. So I'm gonna get my gloves, some pruning shears, the bigger shears, and we're gonna get down to business, because it is a stunning day and we want to utilize whatever sunny warm days we can get while we can. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, and it's not that bad outside, which is surprising for the end of February, but I'm going to take this opportunity while I can and get ahead on prep work for the garden, because I'm super excited for spring to get here. Hurry up, spring. So I have my gardening gloves, pruning shears, and a big brown paper bag that you use to put in like grass clippings or yard debris. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to go to the pine trees that have all the, broken, fallen branches from winter, from the snow getting too heavy or whatever. And I'm going to shove them into these bags. I'm going to cut them up a little bit, and then I'm going to move them bag load at a time into the raised beds. Then I'm going to pack up the flower beds and try to get it into as much as I can before I run out of it, because it's such a wonderful natural um, fertilizer, really, for your garden. Pine needles are just so rich in things that the garden needs. So instead of putting them in that bag and just kind of tossing it to the curb, why not instead give back to your garden? And then it'll end up costing you less when you have to get things to add, like dirt and soil later or whatever. Highly recommend. Also, it's really important to remember that pollinators, like bees, have their little baby bees in fallen, decaying leaves. That's how they do it. That's how they regenerate. And if you clean up too early, put stuff in bags and throw it out, you're throwing out pollinators. We need them really badly for all sorts of things. Most importantly, food. You and I both like food. We like eating food. We do it all the time. Without bees, there'd be no food. So please don't just throw this out, toss it to the curb, but instead save the bees, put it back into the garden, and give them a shot. Because later on when you're trying to grow produce, tomatoes, cucumbers, flowers, whatever you're trying to grow, you're gonna get bummed out if nothing's growing because there aren't enough bees. So do your part, I'll do my part. Clean up, get prepped, and save the bees. Oh, hi. I'm here with Marmalade, and we're hanging out in front of some fallen pine needles, which I used to secure a baby bush I had planted at the end of the season. That's going to grow back and be amazing. Marmalade is here with me. She really likes the microphone. You probably just heard that. Uh, and so she's helping me collect the pine trees. Basically, she's taking branches and running with them because she thinks it's a game. But I'm taking the pine needles, which are filled with nutrients that are super good for the garden, and I'm going to collect it and stuff them into the raised beds and get prepped for what's going to be an absolutely epic gardening season. I can't wait. I have my trusty dog, a giant brown paper bag, and what seems like infinite pine needles that I'm going to then suit up, put on my garden gloves, and get packing up all those pine needles. So if you have a shot this week, when the sun is out, I highly recommend doing this because it's very important to prep your beds and get them pumped and ready and back with nutrients before you start adding things like the plants you want to grow, like the vegetable plants, the flower beds, whatever it is that you're going to grow this season. Prep it and forget it is the way to go. And now, of course, is the prepping part. I thought it would be fun to check on the bags that we put up in the hanging baskets. It's going to take a while, but if you caught the cold stratification episode last week, you'll know that they prefer it. They're super plump because we had soaked them. These are the sweet peas overnight. And then the poppies are just good to go where you just take them and put them in dirt, add a little water, and just wait for the magic to happen. But they're looking good. The sun is shining. It's a warm day. And I'm just so thankful that we have this gorgeous, gorgeous day to get outside and do some things. A lot is going to happen now that I know exactly how things grow in this garden because last year was my first time here. I have big plans, and I'm going to take you with me on the journey, introducing new things, new types of dahlias and stuff, and all the while getting help from my trusty Marmalade, who is right behind me. It's funny, we always say how lucky we are because she doesn't destroy anything like her toys, her stuffed animals. She's had the same one since her first day that we got her. But for whatever reason, she loves to destroy plants. And I don't know if it's because I spend so much time in them, but I'm gonna have to teach her how to dig for me so I can plant things and then not to take the plants out after we planted them because she's really good at that. Oh yeah, that's a good spot. She's such a good girl. If you have a planting companion, I feel your pain. She is the greatest thing ever, but it's sad to sometimes find when she steals things like a radish. Remember, she kept pulling those last year, which is just funny. Like, I can't really get mad at that. But gardening with Marmalade. Say hello. Say hello. Oh, we're going to fight. She's had enough. She said, turn the camera off. Let's play. We're going to have a play date first, and then we'll get back to gardening. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this, but I'm going to try. These are the really cool Snapdragon pods. They almost look like little. Can you hear them? Sounds like little maracas. So I'm going to take them in and put the seeds in a little envelope like you would if you lost a tooth as a child and label them. But also I'm going to start putting them in baggies and with dirt and water. It's not going to be flooded. It's going to be damp soil. And I'm going to do these in windowsills, just sitting the little baggie on top and periodically checking on them. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, and we're getting closer to gardening season, and I'm just so looking forward to it. Oh, hey. So I brought in the pods, and I don't know if you could see, but I'm just kind of shaking them. You can hear and see all the tiny snapdragon seeds just falling out. It's so effortless. And once I get all the seeds out, just do this for a bit, I'm going to toss them right into the seed starting dirt that I've already labeled with the snap, because I know it's snapdragons, that I just collected from outside. Hear that? Sounds so good. Ah, it is so exciting. The sun is shining, warmer than 40. What a time to be alive. See how many seeds come out of here? It's awesome. So you don't have to buy seeds every year, which is great, unless you're, trying a new variety or whatever. But nature provides. So I left these all winter because it's important for them to get to this stage. Otherwise, the seeds aren't really matured and ready. But so good. Okay, I think got most of them. Oh boy, nope. This top guy is really letting them out. They're all facing different directions. So yes, if you're going to do it in this method, you're going to have to like turn them over a bunch. This guy broke off. Okay. How exciting. Okay. And that's it for this. And then I'm like, I don't want to waste any. I'm going to put a tissue down, take a break on that. And then we're going to prep this. For these, I'm going to put them on windowsills that get really good sun, just to see if they do better than the other ones we did earlier. And these are super tiny and super fine. So I'm going to try to do just like a nice, make like a little bit of a divot in the middle of the dirt. And I'm going to grab them like this and sprinkle them into the divot. I'm going to do 3 fingerfuls. And then knowing that I'm going to have to thin them out and keep just the strong ones, so you have the best chance of them surviving out in the wild / your yard. And again, whoop, make a divot first. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. 2 and 3. They don't like to be buried deep, so the divot I made is not very deep, and it'll get lightly covered, very, very lightly, with dirt. Obviously, I'm going to save a bunch of these in a little envelope, okay, for succession planting or for next year and so forth. But it is my absolute pleasure to introduce you to this adorable red-bellied woodpecker, who I have affectionately named Stanley. Stanley is a juvenile in the sense that he does not have a family yet. So he is building the house of his dreams in hopes of attracting a mate to start a family and build his empire. He might not have aspirations to build an empire, but he is a hard worker, a decent fellow, and very good at looking around to make sure no predators are around. He has chosen a perfect location, a partially dead tree. Oh, did you hear him? He sounds so great. In which he's able to easily, and by easily I mean tirelessly, work day and night, carving out his home. He uses one tool, the one that he was born with, his beak, and just like a jackhammer, slowly ticks away at the dead part of this tree. Now, it starts to get really fun, and I'm very excited to share this with you because it is almost spring. I've been hearing woodpeckers on our walk, and Stanley has so much to offer all of us. So I hope you enjoy, and I especially hope you enjoy the wood chip confetti that he loves to throw at me. Yes, I have spent countless hours and days on the ground with my birding camera, watching his progress, cheering him on, and getting wood chips everywhere. But it's been worth it because he's a heck of a woodpecker. And away we go. Enjoy the sights, the sounds, and let's get to know Stanley better. Why does he keep making that ridiculous sound? He is calling out to a mate saying, "Hey, I am available. I am building a gorgeous home and I'm ready to make you the queen. So step right up. Let's make this happen. I cannot wait to fall in love with you." Yes, I speak woodpecker, obviously. So, oh, confetti! It is amazing to witness this incredible transformation, how painstakingly serious he is to go inside this tray, hollow it all out, get rid of the wood confetti, and build a beautiful townhome. Houses by Stanley coming on the market soon. Get in while you can. He is just so remarkable. A one-man band, if you will. He's the contractor, he's the hard worker, interior decorator, and all-around great guy. Let's celebrate this remarkable creature by throwing some confetti ourselves the next person you see. absolutely not for the faint of heart. Behold, Stanley is under attack by two downy, tufted woodpeckers. This couple came in thinking that they could strong arm him into giving up the house he just spent days and days and days building. Don't lose hope. Watching this in real life, it was really nerve-wracking, but Stanley prevails. Those little guys, though annoying, eventually give up because Stanley, who's done absolutely nothing wrong, holds his ground and is bigger than them. And if he wanted, he could do damage, but he's such a lover, not a fighter, that he just bears down and waits for them to grow tired and move on to go harass someone else, which is what ends up happening. So don't worry, nothing bad happens. But this is nature, this is real life, and I wanted to share with you just how resilient our friend Stanley is. Whoa. Are there two now? Oh my goodness. Come on, Stanley. All hope is not lost, for there is a female red-bellied woodpecker. I've named her Stella. Stella has answered Stanley's call, and together they will create a beautiful life, maybe bring in some little woodpecker babies, and just enjoy that dead tree. Always want to end on a happy note, and I know nature is real, so is this love story. Thank you for listening. Well, thank you so much for coming on this journey with me, your host, Samantha Bremekamp, on this episode of Sam Explains the World. Hopefully you've gotten some great tips and you're ready to go do some prep before the cold comes back, because we're in that really fun time of year where you never know if it's going to be warm or cold. And it's going to happen for the next couple of months because that's just how we do it now. But hopefully you've picked up some things, you've gotten super excited to get back into gardening, you're prepping, planning, thinking, and dreaming about better days ahead. I look forward to seeing you next Friday, right here, 9 p.m. on BCTV.